What is up, everybody? Welcome back to GT Sport. We're finishing off the Group 1 Cup today. We've got the two final races, and so let's jump straight into it. We've gone back into the Audi R18. I felt it just handled a bit better than the Bugatti did, so we're gonna go back into this, and we're going to aim to win this championship as we come now into towards the first corner. We're starting in P12. There's 7 laps to this race. We can just sort of see that pack just in front of us there. This is quite a difficult circuit. It's one of the GT originals. It's quite a difficult circuit to master, but we'll do our best here. Coming through this tricky complex of corners that leads onto this straight here. Just trying to close up these leaders here. This corner here in particular, because you're braking into shadow, is really difficult to just nice voice crack there. Really difficult to master that line, just because you can't see anything with the shadow, which is testament to the lighting in this game, but it's a really difficult corner to get right. Coming through this long straight section here as we brake into the top, this 90-degree left-hander here. Again, another difficult corner. You see the back end steps out just a little bit, but we keep it under control as we're heading along the very top of the circuit now. Flat through most of this until we come through a little dabber break into this tricky corner here. You see we could get it slightly wrong, too much power and clip the barrier, but nothing too bad as we're keeping it straight. And you see we've not really actually made much progress on this group of cars yet. So we've got 7 laps, we've got plenty of time to get this right, so it's not the end of the world at the moment as we come through the final corner now. It's more a kink than a corner, it's just a flat through most of it. Seeing the leader has done a 135 and we're doing a 138, so we're a bit slow on this first lap, but we did make a couple of those mistakes and clip the walls. And as you see, we close up to them now in this braking zone into the first corner, so nothing to worry about. We shaped to go around the outside of this Bugatti, but he closes the door, so we look to now go up the inside into this heavy braking zone, and again, not quite close enough. He keeps us behind here. We're just trying to find a place, so we're going to get in his slipstream now. Closing up to him, pull out of the slipstream, up his inside, hard on to the brakes through this difficult corner. You can see we went in deep, he gets back past us again. We need to get past this guy though to keep going through the pack, because we will run out of laps if we're not careful here. Pull out of his slipstream, hard, later on the brakes, into this 90-degree corner, and there we go, we've got him this time. It's a difficult overtake, but we got there eventually. Now we're coming along the top of the circuit. You see we're going purple now, so looking good at the moment. We get again, we get that corner slightly wrong. It's a difficult one again, but we just lose a bit of speed and we don't clip the wall, so it's not too bad as we come through another 90-degree corner. They're really not suited. These cars aren't really suited to that slow speed turning, I feel, so it's quite difficult on this track, as again, flat through the final corner here and onto lap 3. So we really need to close up. When you see we lose a lot of time in that final sector compared to the AI. Quite annoying, so we've got to make these braking zones here at the start of the circuit, the heavy ones. We've really got to make those count. We're now on the back of this group of cars, so we're just trying to find a way to close up to them. I'm going to try and get into the slipstream onto this straight into the, I'm going to call it the shadow corner. So we're just closing up to him, but you see he's also got a slipstream on the car in front of us, so it's a little bit unfortunate. We're trying to find a way, so we'll probably try and get both of them in one overtake, if that's possible. Coming up towards the 90-degree corner at the top of the circuit. We just pull out, and later on the brakes than the Porsche, and we get through him. He gives us a shunt though, which was like a bit rude, but it doesn't unsettle us too much, so we're all right. And now we just need to try and find a way. You see we're purple again in the first half of this lap. It's just this second half where we're losing time. We get this corner right this time though, and we're going to look to try and get around the outside of this guy. He's just got a better line, but we're going to do the over and under. He goes off circuit, gives us a tap when he comes back on, but we're past him now, and now we've got a 5-second gap up to the car in P8, but we're about half through this lap now, so we need to make these laps count. We're going to run out of time at the rate we're going, so we need to pick up the pace. I'm going to jump ahead now onto lap 6, and it took us that long to close up to the guy in P8. This really isn't a strong circuit for us. We're really labouring compared to the AI. But we've closed up to these guys now, so we're now just about maximising our points. Just going to do our best here. You can see I was trying everything. Stepped out a little bit too much there on the power too early. Heavy on the brakes into the shadow corner. Slightly better line than before, but we struggled on that corner every single lap. It's just really difficult when you can't see the apex or your braking zones. Coming up towards the top of the circuit now. Another heavy braking zone where we can close right up to the AI. You can see they're just in front of us now, but there's quite a big group of them, so I think it goes all the way up to about P4, which will be, all things considered, would be a great finish to the race. Dab a brake through this corner. You see I've nailed that corner now. I've worked out the right line, but it's unfortunately a little bit too late. Round the outside of that guy into the braking zone, and you can see we just give him a little bit of a tap as he joins our racing line. He should have given us a bit more space there, but it was all right in the end. Past him, and now we're closing up to these other guys. 170 miles an hour now coming down the back straight. So we can see we're about 2 seconds a lap slower than the leading cars. It's just been a really frustrating race. Try and hang around the outside of, I think it's another Audi, and we'll pass that guy. Great overtake there. Now we're coming up to this weird funky sort of blue car. On the brakes, we'll try and slipstream him again onto this straight. I think it's a little bit too short, really, but go around his outside. We've got one wheel on the grass. He's not giving us any space, but we get him under brakes into the shadow corner there. And now it's another 4-5 seconds to the guy in P5. So, but unfortunately, this is our final lap. So we're not really going to be able to catch them, which is really frustrating. It's it's been a really frustrating race. This just isn't a strong circuit for us at all. It's one we're going to have to look out for in future episodes if it comes up, because we know we're not strong. We are about 2 seconds slower than the leaders. It's on the brakes again. We overcooked it here. We were carrying too much speed, so we're on the grass. But you see, we're far enough ahead that it's not the end of the world as the leaders start to finish the race. It's just all round really disappointing. We just weren't good enough in this one, and we crossed the line to finish P6. Kind of brings us back down to reality after some of our better finishes in recent episodes, but these things happen in racing, I guess, and it happens. But so we're just going to move on now into the next race, and the final race of the championship, which is in I believe it is in Fuji. Another technical circuit, but we'll do our best on this one, and hopefully we'll get a better finish this time around. Come through this long sweeping left-hander for the first corner. Just going to be easy on the throttle and power down when you hit the apex. Coming through this back straight that has a few sort of like S sections through it, and you can see I get it all wrong the first time. I was trying to work out whether you had to have a little bit of brake, ease off the throttle, or you could take it flat. So I took it flat that time. Got it a little bit wrong. Come to another long sweeping left-hander. Because of the downforce on these cars, you can stay flat through this, which is quite good. And then we're in this heavy braking zone now into this sort of almost 180 degree right-hander is the word I'm looking for. Or it's almost like a hairpin, but it's two hairpins strung together. Very technical, quite difficult, this section. And now we come through another long S section where you can be flat on the throttle at these ones. Another long sweeping left-hander. It's a big feature of this circuit. You've got S sections and then long left-handers. It's quite a fun circuit, this one, when you get it all hooked up. Coming to another hard braking zone with a hairpin. It's coming all the way back on ourselves. Just got to be easy on the throttle and then full power when you exit the corner. And you see we've closed up to the guy in P11 already, which is great. so hopefully we won't have a repeat of that last race. And we just go on him under brakes, and it was a nice easy overtake there. Now we're onto sort of the final section of the track. It's another sort of S section, but this one's slightly harder. With you have to try and get the car straight when you brake into this next section, otherwise you risk the back end stepping out. Through the final corner, which is another long sweeping right-hander, and we are now onto the start-finish straight. So been our first lap of Fuji. We've closed at one position, and you can see the P10's just in front of us now. So look like we're going to be making better progress in this race than last time. Just keeping it easy, full power now, and we're onto this back straight, and we're just going to try and get this better this time round. You can see, keep it flat, and it's nice and good. A little bit of a twitch through there, which is a little bit annoying, but you can see we've already 4 seconds up on our previous lap, so it's a great start to this lap. Dab a brake because we've just got the line a little bit wrong there coming through the corner, but we're coming now down the hill towards this braking zone, 4.5 seconds up. Again, I need to be tighter to the apex, but I was hoping that if they were on the apex I'll be able to get a move past them. Just slide it up the inside of that Dodge there. Now we're up to the back of the Peugeot, and again this is all a flat section, so we're not going to be able to get past them here, but we'll shape to make a move round we look for the outside and the inside of this long corner. We give him the big hurry up, and we'll just squeeze up his inside. He gives us a touch just for good measure. Heavy on the brakes, we just slip it straight past the blue car. Nice and easy, and then we're past him, and now we'll chase down this next group. We're going to skip ahead up to lap 3 because it took us that long to get right up to the back of these cars, but they're all travelling in groups in this circuit, so if you catch one you get most of them. It's pretty good. We've got 4 cars here even. We just step out a little bit there. We are on the power a little bit too early, but just through this next S section, and then onto this long right-hander, or left-hander even. We're just coming up to the back of we get a much better exit than they do. We're just going to stick it straight up the inside, under brakes. We get 1, 2, and we go for 3. Not quite touching, we just get through, hard on the power, and there you go, 3 cars in one corner. Great couple of moves there. We're up into P5 with 2 laps to go. We're getting there, we're closing up to the back of P4 here in this Bugatti. Through the long left-hander, coming up to this, the tricky section. We have to try and brake in a straight line. We look to go up his inside, on the brakes, then we've almost come to a standstill and get shunted by this car here, the Toyota, but we keep him behind us. Through onto the start finish straight here. We're going to try and get the slipstream from the Bugatti and just slip straight past him there. And you see the Toyota's come back at us again, which is it's like, do you mind? We're trying to race here. But there we go, under brakes. We just go through the inside of the Bugatti. He's forced to take a wide line, giving us much better exit as we come out of the corner, and we're past him now. So we're going to jump on to the final lap here. We've been chasing the next group of leaders, and you can see they're only 3 seconds ahead of us. So we should be able to get really close to them into this lap. But you see, we just touch that curb and just spin out, and ridiculous. We just barely touched the curb, and it was just enough to totally unsettle the car, spin us out, and all the hard work we've done in this race is just for nothing. We're down in P11, it's 3 seconds to the guys in front of us, but we're down in P11 just because we touched that auto spin curb. Yeah, incredibly frustrating after the race we had before. We were so close to that group of cars, and we probably would have been able to get them on that lap. We're just going to skip ahead now because we weren't able to close up to anybody. We're too far behind. So it's going to be P11, a P6, P11. It's been a really disappointing couple of races to finish off Group 1. Yeah, there's not much I can say. The first race I just wasn't good enough, and this one it was just that auto spin curb. It's ridiculous that we barely touched it and it span us out, but it's it's over now. We're going to move on to better championship. You can see we did get our daily login, daily race bonus. So we're going to jump out of the Group 1 and we're just going to see what car we unlock. And hopefully we can finish this episode on a slightly more positive note than those 2 races. I can see a Mercedes, I see that Peugeot we've been racing, and some old Caterham, I think, and I think that's an Aston Martin. But we get the Mercedes SLS. It's we get the road car version. We've got the GT3 version, but that's not too bad. Maybe we'll have a look to racing that in the next episode. But that's it for this episode of GT Sport, guys. I know, been a disappointing one, and we'll make it up in the next episode, and we'll win a few races. So go back, check some of the previous ones out, and we'll see you again soon.